Hello, scholars. Welcome to week 3. I believe we have everything for this course set up as it should be. There was a hiccup with the discussion boards. On my end, it appeared that you could see and access them and did not realize that it was looping you around to the first week. So I believe we are set up all the way through week 8 now. I went in there personally and made sure it was set up myself and set up correctly. So hopefully moving forward, you should have no further issues. As you know, and I sent an announcement to say that you had an extension this week with completing the discussion boards due to it not being set up appropriately and making sure you had an appropriate amount of time to complete. You also had your quiz for week 2, and all of you did really, really well. So we are on track and moving forward as we should be with this course. Keep in mind, this course is not really teaching you about human services or looking for ways of reiterating what you learned. It's more so helping you to take the information that's readily available in relation to your area of interest for human services and allow you the opportunity to begin thinking about what you plan to write about. And so usually I start with the agenda, but I just wanted to share that we're moving into the proposal aspect of this course. So now with week 3, you should really begin to outline what your topic will be for your project. So the assignment is to submit a 1 to 2 page proposal of the project you have chosen, the topic you are gearing it toward, and the significance to your studies or career goal. This should be a brief abstract of the objective, scope, and outcome of your final project. So really looking to see what you plan to and what your intent is in relation to writing about a topic. And then that is where you're going to want to really give a lot of your focus for the remainder of this course. I'm going to refer you back to chapter 3 now, which is part of your reading for this week. And with that reading, you're wanting to make sure that you refer to a great deal of important information in relation to your potential topic. So I'm referring you to chapter 3, which starts on page 36 of the textbook, and it's outlining the theory directed social work practice. So on page 38, there is a great table with sampling of social work frameworks, theories, perspective, and practice models. So it really gives you a really good outline of the various models and theories from addiction model and all that falls under there, critical theory, integrative model, organizational change model. And this is a really good initial point of reference for you to wrap your head around. What topic do you want to give your attention to? What are you really interested in? What are you passionate about? What do you hope to bring change to in relation to human services and social work? So really encourage you to dive in and then continue on through the chapter and touch on and really give your attention to some of the various theories, such as psychodynamic, cognitive behavioral theories, humanistic, postmodern. And on page 41, it begins to outline the original theorist. And when I say such a wonderful reference that is readily available to you. Let me tell you, in writing my doctorate dissertation, I had to go out and find all the theorists in relation to my topic, and that is very time consuming. So for it to be outlined for you in pages 41 through 43 of chapter 3, you are at an advantage. So I would encourage you to really take a look at those different theorists and theories and sample publications and begin to outline where and how you want to give your attention to your proposal. So, encourage you to really give your attention to chapter 3. Moving into chapter 4, the cultural context of practice using interview skills effectively. And so, when you think about working in the field, and quite a few of you do, and what that entails, and making sure that you are providing support services, programs, and things such as that in a way that is unbiased, and making sure that you are meeting the need of those that you service. And so looking at it from a cultural competency context. And so within this week's agenda, there is an actual video that you are asked to review. It's only about 6 minutes, but very good in truly just speaking to the reality of what cultural competency really means, and recognizing where those implicit biases are, and being able to accept that they're there and address them in a way that is managed in meeting the professional needs of those that you serve. And so, um, encourage you to take the time to really listen to that and watch that video. As always, you have your PowerPoint for the week. This week, I'm not going to go through it in great detail, but it does cover all the perspectives in chapters 3 and 4, and just gives you a little bit more of an outline of what is covered. That does not mean that you are not intended to actually review that. You still should be reading chapters 3 and 4 and not relying solely on the PowerPoint presentations. Um, you also want to make sure that you're giving time to listen to this lecture. I try to make sure that I just cover what you will need for that week, in addition to clarifying anything that may be potentially misunderstood. And so I was trying to open the PowerPoint. I didn't realize that it was going to pause on me like this, but we shall continue moving on. So in regards to that, you have my lecture to listen to. As I said, I already covered the cultural competency video that I greatly encourage you to watch and review. You do have 2 discussions this week. So discussion board number 1 for week 3 is take a moment and explore your own life. What systems can you identify as immediately affecting your life? What are the positive supporting features of these systems? Do you see any problems in any of the systems in your life? It's important to really take that time for reflection for self. You have to understand yourself. And for those of you that have been in my classes in past terms, I really speak to that quite often, in the sense of, if you don't know and understand yourself, you don't really know how to truly help others. And so I think this is a good opportunity, prior to diving into actually writing your capstone project, and really just taking a moment to explore your own life, and what are those impacts or effects that are truly weighing heavy. Are they positive features in relation to the systems that you need to sustain and continue to move forward? Um, do you see any problems in the systems in your life, and how are those addressed from a human services perspective? So really looking forward to seeing your thoughts and insight and experiences, and really encourage you to take the time. So minimum 200 words, and then take the time to post and interact with at least of your 2 classmates for at minimum 50 words. I encourage you to do more. This is an opportunity for you guys to use each other. It's not a lot of you in this class. You have been through many, many human services classes, so I do not have to lecture to you and talk to you about human services. This is more about honing in on what you want to write about, what you want to find more information about, what further research do you want to do to test theories, to test assumptions, to test practices that are currently taking place within the organizations that you may work with or be familiar with or have the opportunity to observe. So keep that in mind as you're thinking and writing about your discussion board number 1. Moving into discussion board number 2 for week 3. In your everyday life, are you a person who takes social initiative? Do you see social initiative as an important tool in gaining cultural competence? Why or why not? So I kind of struggled through that sentence and through those questions. So let me read it one more time to make sure it's clear. In your everyday life, are you a person who takes social initiative? So when you talk about things that are happening in our world, are you taking initiative and really having dialogue, open dialogue, discussions? Are you someone that feels as though you're an activist, that you want to help bring change? So are you involved in organizations or associations or councils that are giving that more of their focus and attention and bringing that change? Do you see social initiative as an important tool in gaining cultural competence? So, in really outreaching, and I love the video in the sense of it says that people are misconstrued in thinking that when we talk about cultural competence, we think that it's asking others about how they live and what food do they eat and enjoy and aspects of their culture. But that's not it at all. That we really have to dig deeper and really have open dialogue and try to gain an understanding as to the differences and uniqueness of different cultures and different competence. So really interested in hearing from you in relation to that discussion as well. And again, taking textbook readings, other information, outside information, incorporating it into your discussion, at least 200 words. And then I need you to interact. And I hope to see great sharing of you interacting with each other in your responses and not sticking to only the 50 words each. I know you're really tired at this point. I know um, you have worked really hard to get to this point. Many of you seniors, I think there's one junior in our group, but you can keep your eye on the prize and continue to push through. This is a time to test and to question and to have open discussion about all that you've learned up to this point. So use these questions that are reflection and really digging deep within the textbook and the topics being discussed in the textbook in relation to how that all goes together within human services and social work. And so one last area that I want to refer you to that is such a great resource in relation to cultural competence is on page 59 of the textbook. It is the National Association of Social Workers. So many of you with interest in social work should be familiar with this. This is another way for you to continue to learn more and keep your knowledge and skills and abilities up to par by keeping in tune with the practices and standards based on this association. So as you can see, there's 10 standards for cultural competence in social work. So ethics and value, self-awareness, cross-cultural knowledge, cross-cultural skills, service delivery, empowerment and advocacy, diverse workforce, professional education, language diversity, and cross-cultural leadership. Another great resource and point of reference in relation to really thinking about your topic and proposal and what you plan to write about and do further research about, um, seeking further supporting evidence in relation to your capstone project. So off to a great start. I think this class is going to be amazing for you. I think it is going to enlighten you in so many ways as far as the research and the work that you are going to put into it. So I am here to support you. If you are having challenges with your topic and the proposal and what you plan to write about, reach out to me. I have no problem setting up a Zoom meeting or a conference call with you and help you talk through and really begin to figure out what you want to give your time and attention to, and really seek to identify the significance to your study or your career goal. So just let me know if you need my assistance. I'm here to help however needed. I wish you the best. Have a wonderful week. God bless, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Take care.